Hello, welcome. This is a 1-hour gentle vinyasa flow class. Thanks for joining. If you have 2 blocks and a blanket, that would be helpful. And if you don't have yoga blocks, books, board games, anything else fairly sturdy and rectangular will work. We'll begin in a comfortable seat. When you're ready, coming to sit tall, rooting through both sits bones, and then stacking one leg in front or on top of the other. Always the option though to sit up on the knees instead, with or without a block under the sacrum. That feels more comfortable. When you find your seat, stack shoulders over hips. Let the palms rest down on the knees or lap. And on an inhale, lift the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, roll them down and back. Shut down the eyes if they're not already. Begin to draw the attention to the breath. Closing the mouth. Starting to feel the breath move gently at first, through the nasal passages, through the back of the throat. With each new breath cycle, beginning to pull the breath a little deeper into the lungs on the inhale. Beginning to engage the abdominal muscles slightly on the exhale. Start to tune into a pace of breath you can maintain when we connect breath and movement, asana and pranayama. At the bottom of your next exhale, engage your Ujjayi pranayama, yogic victory breath. If you're new to Ujjayi, begin to create a constriction right in the back of the throat, starting to hear a vibration, an audible oceanic humming quality with each inhale and exhale through the nose. And if Ujjayi is not in your practice yet, beginning to cultivate any other deep, intentional breath. Feeling the belly rise on the inhale and drawing the belly in and up on the exhale. Continue breathing this way. And at this time of year, where we tend to enjoy lots of food, celebrations, that we'll focus today on doing spinal twists, which is a great way to both detoxify the inner organs, help to lengthen the spine, but also to create space and movement through digestion before and after eating large meals. Holding space here to set an intention for your practice. If themes of gratitude are coming up, maybe going there, or any other intention you'd like for your practice today. When you have that intention, bring both hands to the belly. Take a deep inhale, feel the belly rise. And on the exhale, draw the abdominal muscles in and up. Release the hands back to the legs. Open the eyes. We'll begin to move. On an inhale, sweep both arms up. Interlace the fingers overhead. Begin to press the palms toward the ceiling, growing tall. Even as you grow tall, relaxing tops of shoulders down from the ears. And keep pulling the belly in and up as you lengthen through the back. Take one more deep inhale here. Exhale, press the palms forward, tuck the chin for seated cat-cows. Inhale to lift the arms, maybe gaze starts to lift up. Exhale, press the arms forward, tuck the chin strongly. Moving this way on your breath. Each inhale, lifting the arms and chest. And on the exhale, tucking the chin, feeling the shoulders begin to open. Take 3 or 4 more rounds on your breath, creating a vinyasa, breath and movement. If you lost your Ujjayi, come back to your deep yogic vibrations. The next time your arms reach up overhead, on the exhale, release the hands, bring the arms back down to the sides. Inhale, sweep arms up and overhead. And on the exhale, left palm to right knee, right hand behind. Take another inhale, lift through the spine first. And on the exhale, begin to twist from the base of the spine, letting shoulders, neck, and head follow. Notice if you put all your weight on that back hand, see if you can lift up and out through the abdominals and back body. Take one more deep inhale here. And on the exhale, walk the hands forward for our first forward fold. Tuck the chin strongly, tense up on the fingertips. Begin to root down and back through the sits bones. Continuing to feel the shoulders widen. See if you can soften the facial features, the mouth, the neck. On an inhale, walk the hands back in, and then switch the cross of your legs, bringing the other leg in front or on top. If you're up on the knees, just stay right where you are. Come back to sit tall. Make sure you can root through both sides of the hips. And on an inhale, sweep the arms back up, palms touch. Exhale, right hand to left knee, left hand behind. Take one more inhale, growing long in the spine first. And on the exhale, begin to twist to the left, twisting right from the base of the spine. And then letting head, neck, and shoulders turn any amount to the left. With each inhale, imagining a string pulling the top of your head toward the ceiling. And on the exhale, tucking the abdominals up and under. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, once more, walk the hands forward. Find a forward fold. Deepening the fold this time, press as firmly through the fingertips as you can as you root down and back through the sits bones. And then keep walking your hands forward and slightly together, finding your broadest back, drawing breath all the way from wrists to hip creases. With your next inhale, walk the hands back in. And on the exhale, roll over the knees and make your way into Tabletop Pose. If the knees are feeling sore, it's a great place for a blanket. Slide the blanket right underneath the knees, or you can always roll the mat over a couple of times. Bringing shoulders right over wrists, palms are open, fingers spread wide. Tuck the toes behind you. Make sure your hips are right over your knees. On an inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, Marjarasana. Exhale, tuck the chin, pull the belly up, Balasana. Inhale for cow pose, lift the chest, keep the abdominals engaged here. Exhale, press the floor away, round the back for cat. Take 3 more on your breath cycle, taking the full inhale to arch the spine and shift the gaze up, and the full exhale to round and tuck. Option to move right and left as well, if that would feel good on the spine and hips today. No rush. When you finish those 3 rounds, we'll meet back in a neutral tabletop. From tabletop, see if you can tighten the abdominal region a little more, knitting in the lower ribs, feeling that sense of lift through the middle of the belly. Good. Inhale, extend the right leg back. Plant the toes and begin to shift forward and back, stretching through the wrist creases and the toe creases, but keeping the shoulders and back engaged here. The further forward you rock, the more strength you'll build for plank pose. The next time you come back through center, take an inhale, lift the right toes off the mat. Keep your hips square, big toe down. Option to extend left arm as well, thumb up for added intensity. Take one more inhale in your variation. And on the exhale, lower right knee and left hand. Shake out the buttocks, the hips. And meet back in neutral tabletop for second side. Inhale, extend left leg back, plant the toes, and begin to rock forward and back. Feeling a stretch through wrists and toe creases, starting to awaken the back of the leg. Keep your breath moving. Notice if you're holding the breath. The next time you come through center, take an inhale, lift the left leg up, keep the hips squared. Option to extend right arm forward, thumb up. Long spine, gaze just in front of your mat. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, lower the knee. Bring the legs together and sink the hips back for child's pose. To keep this active, keep the arms forward, tensing up on the fingertips. Option instead to extend the arms alongside the body, finding regular Balasana. And then begin to smooth out and lengthen your breath, coming back to your rhythmic breath cycle. And come back to that intention if you set one for your practice. Throughout our class today, feel welcome to come back here to Balasana or any other resting point at any time, especially if you feel your breath growing shallow or shaky. On your next inhale, bring the arms forward if they're not already. Come up through tabletop. And on the exhale, tuck the toes, shift the hips up and back for our first downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Palms are open wide here. To draw the weight out of the wrists, press through all the knuckles of the hand, the center of the palm. And then let the back of the neck hang heavy as you engage the arms, the legs, the back, and the abdomen. Notice if the belly splayed down, draw it in and up as you knit your lower ribs around the torso. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and down the back. And draw your inner elbow creases together. Take one more deep inhale here. On the exhale, roll forward to plank. Lower your knees. So your knees are pretty far behind your hips here. We're not in tabletop. We'll take modified yogic push-ups, heating up the core. Take an inhale here. Exhale, bend the elbows, elbows to ribs and lower. Toes lift. Inhale, press back up. Exhale to lower. Inhale, press back up. And exhale to lower. Extending the legs long, coming all the way to the belly. Bring both palms right underneath the shoulders. Draw your inner edges of the feet and thighs together. Begin to lift the kneecaps off the mat, feeling the quad muscles engage. On an inhale, lift the chest to roll the shoulders down and back. Hands hover here. Savasana, locust. Keep drawing the elbows toward the ribs as you keep lifting the heart forward, lengthening through the spine. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, lower forehead to the palms. Rest the space between the eyebrows there. And take 2 deep breath cycles. We'll take another round of locust. Bringing the hands back underneath the shoulders, draw the legs together, engage the full body, and on an inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, hover the hands, squeeze shoulders and elbows together and back. You can stay right here. Option to lift the legs as well, starting to rock on the pubic bone and the hips. If the legs lift, keep drawing legs and feet together. Keep the breath moving here through the sides, through the back. One more deep inhale, lift a bit higher. And exhale, lower. Forehead to palms, bend the knees, and crisscross your ankles back and forth, wringing out the outer hips and smoothing back out your breath. Re-extend the legs long. Bring the palms under the shoulders. Before pressing up, tuck the toes, engage the belly muscles, and draw the shoulder blades down the back. On your next inhale, press up through knees, and exhale back to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take 2 deep breath cycles here, beginning to tune into that sense of effort and ease, sthira and sukham. Each time we return to down dog in our practice, it becomes more of a resting pose. On your next inhale, bring the gaze between the thumbs, press the floor away. And on the exhale, come up on the tiptoes, begin to walk forward as many steps as you can. Bend the knees as much as you need. We'll meet in Uttanasana, forward fold at the top of the mat. Back of the neck hangs heavy. If the hamstrings are feeling very tight, you can bend the knees a lot. With each inhale, pulling the top of the head toward the floor. And on the exhale, lifting up through the belly, feeling that sense of lightness behind the belly button. And then see if you can lift from the perineum, helping the hips to grow light. We'll take a half lift. Inhale, flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale to fold. Take a deep bend in the knees. And on an inhale, begin to roll up, slow and steady to build strength. Legs are active. Head and shoulders come last. We'll meet in Tadasana, mountain pose. In Tadasana, reach the fingers toward the floor. Press through all 4 corners of both feet. Engage the kneecaps, feeling the quads ignite. Squeeze the buttocks together, helping to tuck the tailbone underneath you, long spine. At the same time, draw the belly in and up, finding your tallest spine today. Take an inhale, lift the tops of shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, roll them down and back. On your next inhale, lift all the toes off the mat, spread them out as much as you can, and then plant them on the mat, wide stance of the feet. Good. We'll warm up the whole body now with classical sun salutes, Surya Namaskar. Inhale, palms to heart center. Exhale, roll the shoulders back. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, step right foot back, lower right knee. Toes are tucked here. Take an extra inhale, lift the chest, come up on the fingertips. And on the exhale, plant the hands and step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Option to lower knees. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin, toes are tucked. Inhale, sliding forward for cobra, hands hover, shoulders back. Exhale, press up and back, Downward facing dog. Inhale, step left foot all the way forward. Lower right knee once more. Take an extra inhale, lengthen through the spine. And on the exhale, plant the hands and step to the top of the mat. Fold. Inhale, reach arms straight forward and up. Exhale, palms to heart center. Inhale, reach arms forward and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step left foot all the way back. Lower left knee, toes stay tucked. Take an extra inhale, lift the chest as you roll the shoulders back. And on the exhale, plant the hands, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, roll forward to plank, lower knees as you need. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin, Ashtanga Namaskar. Inhale, forward for Cobra, Bhujangasana. Exhale, press up and back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, step right foot all the way forward, lower left knee. Take an extra inhale, lengthen the spine, sink the left hip down. And on the exhale, plant the hands, forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, reach arms forward and up. Exhale, palms to heart center. We'll take one more round. This time, see how quietly you can move forward and back each time you step on your mat. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step right foot back, lower right knee, lift the chest. Exhale, plant the hands, downward facing dog. Inhale, rolling forward to plank, Balasana. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, forward for Cobra, Bhujangasana. Exhale, press up and back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, step left foot quietly forward, lower right knee. Exhale, forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, reach arms forward and up. Exhale, palms to heart center. Last side. Inhale, reach arms forward and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step left foot back, lower left knee, lift the chest. Exhale, plant the hands, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, forward, Balasana. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale for Cobra, Bhujangasana. Exhale, press up and back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, step right foot forward, lower left knee once more. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, reach arms straight forward and up. Exhale, palms to heart center. Come back to Tadasana. Reach the fingers down as you lift through the top of the head. Shut down the eyes if that feels okay. Take about 5 rounds of Ujjayi breath, coming back to intention and noticing the effects of our classical Surya Namaskar. Good. Take one more full breath cycle. Whole body is engaged. Open the eyes if they're still shut down. Adding on. Inhale, sweep arms out and up. Palms touch overhead. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, swan dive forward. Lead with the heart. Inhale, half lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands and step back to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Meeting up and down dog. Remember, you're always welcome to take child's pose at any time. On your next inhale, right leg lifts up and back. And on the exhale, step the right foot all the way between the hands. Lower the back knee for low lunge. Press firmly through that front foot. On an inhale, rise. Bring both hands to the right thigh. And then check to make sure that the right knee is right on top of or slightly behind the ankle. Good. You can untuck the back toes if you like. A little added challenge here. Option to sweep the arms up alongside the ears. Wherever you're at, energetically draw inner thighs together. Notice if the lower back collapsed, lift up and out, belly and back engaged. Maybe gaze starts to turn up. Anjalayasana, horse pose. Take one more deep inhale here. And on the exhale, lower left hand to the mat, right hand to the right thigh as you begin to twist up and open to the right. Roll that right shoulder down and back. You can stay here, lengthening your spine forward as you twist from the base of the spine. To take this further, hop up on the back toes, back legs straight and strong. Wherever you're at, on an inhale, sweep the right arm high, stacking right shoulder over left. Parivrtta Parsva Konasana, revolved side angle. Keep the breath moving here. Maybe gaze turns up toward the right thumb if that feels okay on the neck. Take one more deep inhale. And on the exhale, lower the right palm, lower the left knee. Inhale, come back to low lunge. Just a breath. And on the exhale, plant both hands and step back to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a deep inhale in down dog. And on the exhale, lower knees to the wide edge of the mat. Big toes touch. And sink your hips back for wide-legged Balasana, child's pose. If this feels too intense on the hips or knees, option to bring the legs back together. To make this more active, you can bend the elbows, bring the palms together, and draw the thumbs behind the nape of the neck. If you find that arm variation, keep walking the elbows forward and together, walking the forehead away from the knees, and then letting the facial features relax. Drawing breath through armpits all the way to hip creases. Come back to the intention if you set one. Take one more full round of breath here. On your next inhale, press up through tabletop, tuck the toes, and make your way to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. On your next inhale, sweep the left leg up and back. Exhale, look forward, step between the hands, lower the back knee for low lunge. On an inhale, rise, palms to left thigh. Begin to press through the inner arch of your front foot and make sure you can see your left big toe inside your knee. Good. Tuck the tailbone underneath you so you draw the inner thighs together. You can stay here. Option to lift the arms up alongside the ears. If you find that arm variation, make sure the shoulders didn't lift up to the ears Roll them down and back, even as you reach through fingers. See if you can pull the belly in and up, feeling the back grow long. And then keep sinking into that right hip. Anjalayasana, horse pose. The last breath, maybe gaze starts to turn up toward the ceiling. Take a deep inhale here. And on the exhale, lower right palm to the mat, left hand to the left thigh, and begin to twist the heart up and open to the left. Roll that left shoulder down and back. Notice if your left knee splayed out, pull it back to center. If you went further on the first side, hop up on the back toes, back leg growing straight and strong. Whichever variation you found, take an inhale, reach the left arm high, stacking left shoulder over right. Parivrita Parsva Konasana. Notice if you scrunched up the spine, keep reaching the top of the head forward as you twist in and up from the lower spine. Good. Bringing out the inner organs here. One more deep inhale, lift the left fingers. And on the exhale, lower left hand, lower right knee if it's lifted. And on an inhale, come back to low lunge, just a breath. Exhale, cartwheel the hands, frame the front foot, and step back to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Relax the back of the neck. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, walk the hands back to the feet, finding a forward fold at the back of the mat. Again, you're welcome to bend the knees deeply if you need. We'll find a gentle twist here. Take an inhale, half lift, flat back. On the exhale, walk the hands to the right and fold. Bringing the hands outside the right foot, let the back of the neck release. Keep planting through both feet. Draw the right hip forward, left hip back. Really twisting here. On your next inhale, lift back up through center, half lift. Exhale, walk the hands toward the left and fold. Once more, let the back of the neck release. Relax the teeth, the tongue, and then draw the left hip forward, right hip back, finding that twist. On your next inhale, come back through center, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up, palms touch overhead. Exhale, release the arms. Take a big step out with one foot, coming to face the long edge of your mat. Turn your big toes slightly in, outer edges of the feet parallel. Starting with the hands on the hips here, we're preparing for a forward fold. Take an inhale, lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together and back. And on the exhale, push the heart forward, hinging from the hips. Make your way all the way to a forward fold. Release the hands here. If they don't reach the mat, you can use blocks on the right height for your hands, and then let the back of the neck hang heavy. If the hands reach the mat, bring the hands in the same line as the feet, tops of toes in the same line as tops of fingers. Begin to press through the palms. Use that leverage to lift the hips a little higher. Just like in our forward fold at the beginning of our practice, see if you can lift from the perineum, feeling that sense of lightness as the buttocks lifts up. A few more deep breaths here. Prasarita Padottanasana A. Wide-legged forward fold. We're moving toward a twist variation. On an inhale, walk the hands to the long edge of the mat. Plant both hands underneath the face. Then walk the left hand right under the face, right hand to right hip. Take an inhale, press the floor away, lift the chest. And on the exhale, twist up and open to the right. Notice if your hips shifted. Keep the hips square. Let the twist happen from the base of the spine. You can stay right here. For a deeper variation, inhale the right arm straight up, stacking shoulders. And then exhale, drape the right arm behind the back, catching the clothing or maybe the inner left thigh. Wherever you're at, make sure your breath can stay smooth. If it grows choppy, backing out of your twist just a bit. If you found that arm variation, on an inhale, reach the right arm back up. Exhale, lower. Replace left hand with the right hand. Bring the left hand to the hip. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine, lift the chest. And on the exhale, twist up and open to the left. Make sure not to scrunch the shoulders up to the ears. If you went further on the first side, take an inhale, reach left arm high. Exhale, drape the left arm behind the back, catching clothing or all the way to the inner right thigh. A couple deep breaths here, releasing into the twist. If you took the half bind with the arm, on an inhale, reach the left fingers high. Exhale, release, and walk both hands forward for a really wide-legged downward dog. Keep your palms right in the same line as your shoulders, not too wide. And then notice if your hips shifted forward, press your hips back as you press through the palms, long back, long side bodies. See if you can soften the facial features. On your next inhale, walk both hands back in. Bend the knees and bring the hands to the hips. And on an inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, release. Heel toe your feet slightly closer together. And step to the top of your mat. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up, palms touch. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, and step back to downward facing dog. Our last down dog. Take 2 full breath cycles here, finding that balance of stira and sukham. Can you find ease even through effort? When you finish those breath cycles, lower to the knees and make your way all the way to a seat on the mat. Extending legs long in front of you. This is a great place for a blanket if you have one. Slide the blanket right under the back of your sits bones. This helps to tilt the pelvis forward, encouraging us to engage the abdomen and back. And if you don't have a blanket, use the hands to pull the flesh out from under your sits bones, finding the flattest spot of the buttocks. And then draw shoulders right over hips. On an inhale, reach the arms up alongside the ears. Exhale, fold forward, long spine. And then release the hands to the legs, the feet, or the big toes. We'll find a half lift. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold. Uttanasana. Intense west-facing pose. In yoga, our back body is the west, our front body is the east. Rather than striving to pull the nose toward the knee, we're striving to pull the very top of the head toward the feet, lengthening the spine. And then on the exhales, pulling the belly up and under the lower ribs, creating more space to fold onto the thighs. Maybe the elbows begin to splay out. On your next inhale, reach the arms forward and sit all the way back up and release. Shake out the legs, let that go. We'll find a counter pose. Slide the sits bones off the blanket for now if you have that. Bend the knees, feet hips distance apart. So we just took intense west facing pose. We'll find Uttanasana, intense east facing pose. Bring the hands behind the hips, fingers pointed toward your body. Use the pressure of the palms to start to lift through the chest. Now press firmly through the inner and outer arches of the feet. On an inhale, lift the hips as much as you can, striving to bring them at the knee height if you can. Let the back of the neck release if that feels okay. Keep pressing the floor away, drawing shoulders down and back. With each inhale, hips lift a little higher, making sure knees don't splay out. Uttanasana. Take one more deep inhale, lift the hips, and then tuck the chin. With the exhale, slowly lower back to the mat. Come back to sit tall and reach the legs back forward. We're making our way to the back. We'll do so actively, building a little core strength along the way. Bring the legs together, this time pointing the toes as much as you can. Lift the belly in and up, lengthen the back. Inhale, reach arms forward, thumbs up. Exhale, tuck the chin, look at the belly button. Begin to roll all the way to your back. Slow and steady to build strength. It's okay if the legs pop up, eventually finding lower, middle, and upper back. Release all the way to the mat. When you find your whole back body on the mat, bring both hands to the belly. Take 5 deep, full rounds of Ujjayi breath, noticing what's different or changed through your practice today. With the inhales, really feel the belly lift the hands. And on the exhales, feeling the belly contract in and up. Take one more round of breath this way. On your next inhale, bend the knees. Draw the knees into the chest. Keep the head and shoulders relaxed here. Begin to take any intuitive movements, rocking left and right, back and forth. Using the next few rounds of breath to lengthen your inhales and exhales, adding a beat or two. As we start to use the breath to cool down, slow down the body, quiet the mind. When you've had enough, coming back through center. Release the feet hips distance apart on the mat. Extend the arms out in a T, palms down. Lift the hips just enough off the mat that you can plant them a little bit to the left. Take an inhale, draw the knees into the chest. And on the exhale, lift the knees up and over to the right for a spinal twist. Let the left shoulder relax. If the knees are really far apart from one another or lifted off the mat, it's a great place to slide a block or blanket between or under the knees. If it feels okay, gaze can turn over that left hand. And then soften your drishti or shut down your eyes altogether. Settling into our last spinal twist, Jatara Parivartanasana. In spinal twists, we want to make sure our knees are at or above the hip line, eliminating any arch in the lower back so we can get the full benefit of wringing out the liver, the spleen. On your next inhale, draw the knees back into the chest. Keep the arms wide. Exhale, plant the feet hips distance apart once more. Take an inhale, lift the hips just enough that you can lower them slightly to the right. On your next inhale, draw the knees into the chest. And on the exhale, lift them up and over to the left. Shifting your gaze over the right arm if that feels okay on the neck. And sliding a block or blanket between or under the knees as you like. Once more, softening your gaze or shutting down the eyes. Tabletop Uttanasana. On your next inhale, draw the knees back in once more. And on the exhale, release. We're making our way toward happy baby for our final shape before rest. If something else is calling to you, you're welcome to take an inversion or Supta Dandasana, like straight up. Otherwise, bend the knees, catch the outer edges of the legs or feet, and then begin to sink the lower back and hips to the mat so you pull the knees toward the armpits. Ananda Balasana, happy baby. You can find stillness, keeping ankles over knees here, or maybe rocking left and right, straightening one leg and then the other. If you have the space, it can feel nice to catch the big toes with the first two fingers, cap it with the thumb, and then pull both legs wide, really finding a release and stretch through the lower back. No rush or urgency. Over the next few rounds of breath, beginning to make your way toward your final resting shape. Finding any clothing or props you'd like to have today. If the lower back is feeling sore, it can feel nice to roll up a thick blanket underneath the knees and then drape the legs on top of the blanket. Or if you like a little bit of weight on the body during Savasana, a large blanket or sweater across the hips can provide a little more sense of grounding, helping the physical body to release and relax. Wherever you're at, eventually extending legs long, letting the feet and legs splay out as they do. Extend the arms alongside the body, palms up. Take a moment to tuck the chin, just enough that the back of the neck grows long. Tuck the shoulder blades a little further underneath you. And then extend each leg a little further away from the torso. When you feel your spine grow as long as it can be on the mat, begin to release and relax all the muscles from head to toe. Keep the breath moving through the nose, but continue to lengthen, soften, slow down the breath. Notice any lingering chitta vritti, mind thoughts that are coming up. See if you can set those aside. As you begin to turn off any focus on postures or effort, knowing you've already put in the effort, and all that's left to do Just allow your body, mind, and energetic body time to integrate your practice. Shut down the eyes, feeling them soften and sink in the sockets. At the bottom of your next exhale, let your Ujjayi breath go. Let your breath become shallow, in and out through the nose, only the chest gently rising and falling. We'll take a body scan to relax and release the whole body. I'll say a part of the body. When I say that part, focus on it, engage it, contract it, and then let it release. We'll begin with the crown of the head, the forehead, the eyebrows, both eyes in the sockets, the cheeks, the nostrils, the teeth, the lips, the mouth. Release the tongue from the top of the mouth, the jaw, the throat, both collarbones, the tops of the shoulder heads, the biceps and triceps, the shoulder blades on the back, the chest, heart center, Anahata chakra, the belly button, the solar plexus, right below the lower ribs, both hips, the pelvic floor and perineum, releasing any last micro muscle holds there, the quads and hamstrings, both kneecaps, ankles and wrists. Lastly, contract all 10 fingers, all 10 toes, and then feel the extremities release. Let the ground beneath you hold and support your weight. Allow yourself to go inward, starting to disconnect from physical sensations in the space around you. Finally, letting go of my voice, my cues, as you come to rest easy in Savasana, corpse pose. Sahana Vavatu Sahana Punaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vadhitamastuma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Use your next inhale to begin to reconnect to the body through the breath. Wiggling fingers and toes, rolling the neck left and right, up and down. When you're ready, finding a full body stretch, reaching arms overhead, reinvigorating your physical body, fingers to toes. Eventually drawing in the knees, finding the fetal position on the right side body. Allowing a few deep, gentle breaths here. In this shape of new beginning, new perspective, new life. When you're ready, leaning back in a comfortable seat on the mat, either legs crossed or sitting up on the knees. On an inhale, bring palms to heart center, thumbs to heart, heart to thumbs. We'll close our practice with 3 rounds of Om, the universal sound of nature. You're welcome to join from home or simply listen. Preparing to inhale to Om. Thank you for allowing me to guide your practice. The light within me honors and respects the light within you. Thank you. Mil gracias. Thanks very much for joining this recorded class. I welcome feedback or questions by email or through the Facebook group. If you'd like to make a donation, you can make donations by PayPal or Venmo to Freelancer PhD, FREELANCER PhD. But please do feel welcome to take these on-demand classes and my live classes. They're all donation-based, whatever your capacity to donate. Thank you so much.